Hi, I'm Rob, and today we're at the George Inn in St Mary Bourne. So we start from the George and turn left and head this way. Let's remember that for the next World Cup. Well, being late August, any toad lovers, you're out of luck. But if you want to come and look at toads, then between February and May is your time. That's a very nice shrub. So most of the village looks 16th century with the thatched cottage, maybe a bit earlier. This is the Church of St Peter's, and that is 12th century. Let's see if we can have a look inside. So like a lot of churches, bits of it are 12th century and there's been add-ons. It's quite obvious the add-ons you can see here. I mean, the tower looks a lot later. And what's this? Interesting. Lots of quirky little monuments in this church. We've got a sundial on a plinth there. Yes, we can't get in, which is a shame because there's a Tournai font in there, which in this country is fairly rare. Tournai font is a font made in Belgium, somewhere near Ghent, and it's made of a Belgian limestone or marble. We don't get to see what that one is, but anyway, I'm hovering around this tree, and regulars on my channel, you'll know that this is a yew tree, and you'll know the old saying about it being a Christian symbol of life and resurrection, because the boughs dip down and can reroot. I've yet to see one, but this is a very old example, and it's starting to rot through a little bit in the centre, so I'd probably say this is maybe 1,000 years old. Yeah, it's a fine example of a yew again. It's not in the state that the one at Farringdon is, but then that one was 2,000 years old. Anyway, let's head away from the church, out into St Mary Bourne and continue the walk. So, from the church, we turn left and head down towards the village pond. So at the edge of the village, you leave to the right, Derry Down Farm, Orchard Cottage, this way. And as you see, you pick up a green finger post, and the lake will be on the right. So this, I assume, is the village pond. It's the only pond in the village, but a local lady called it a lake. Anyway, that's a coot sat there. It's a coot because it's got the white over its beak. If it looked the same as that with red over its beak, it would be a moorhen. So it looks like the pond is there, and it looks like the River Bourne runs through it or alongside of it, because that is definitely a running river which goes under this bridge and sort of trickles out that way. And now the River Bourne is a tributary of the River Test. A lovely lot of wildlife noises going on there. Well, I thought there'd be a better view of the pond, but we're down by the doctor's surgery now, sneaking another little view through the side. Now, if this is indeed the pond, then there was at one time, in medieval times, a tumbrel, which is the posh name for a ducking stool on the pond. And chiefly the the main users of this tumbrel were persons that trespassed against the excise. So if you've got a miller that gave you a loaf that was a bit light, or rather gave you some grain, or a baker gave you a loaf that was a bit light, or even if they sold you bad ale, then they could end up on the ducking stool. It's not a bad idea, actually. Anyway, we'll leave the doctor's surgery. As you see, we're tucked in a corner to try and get the view. And we're going to a little lane, and we're going to turn right. So we passed the doctor's surgery, and on the right, by this tree, there's a little gravel path. which takes us alongside the lake. Again, I'm hoping for nice views, but I see there's a lot of tree cover. We'll soon see. So that's better. That's a nicer view of the lake. Oh, you didn't get into the trees. There's a lovely view of the lake. Enjoy it before the next tree comes along. Oh, there's another one. There. Nice lake and some nice houses. There, a little cottage the other side. Beautiful. Now, what a shame I didn't catch that on film. There was one heck of a noise, and a great wing of geese flew in and landed on the lake. And I had the perfect view, but the thinking camera wouldn't fire up in time. So now all you've got is a lot of noise behind the tree and a couple of geese in view. But believe me, yeah, it was lovely. Well, I was totally wrong about this being the village pond. This is a lake, and it was excavated in the early 70s by a local doctor to make a haven for waterfowl and wildlife. So it's fed from groundwater in the Bourne Valley. The level varies through the year. In places the bottom of the lake shelves steeply and is very deep. In 1990, Dr. Evans passed the ownership and management of the lake to the parish council. The fishing rights are reserved, with a fishing syndicate of local fishermen stocking the lake with trout. Members of St Mary Bourne Model Yacht Club sail their boats on the lake at weekends. So where the heck is the village pond? Or was the village pond? Maybe it's gone. So when you get to the local playing fields, selection of footpaths, but we're taking this one. It leads up through into the woods. So, through the gate. Again, a nice selection of arrows to follow. We're taking the one uphill, wouldn't it just be uphill, to the right and up. Here's lovely views down the valley, back over the village, and back over the pond over there. Into the deep dark coppice. I say coppice because you look at these trees and they've all been cut down to the base and they have multiple shoots coming up, and that's called coppicing. So you continue through the woods and you bear slightly right, it's finger post hidden there that I've just shown you, and you emerge with, in this case, a field of corn on the cob or maize, depending on what it is, and the woods on the left. And we keep following this forward. Great stuff. I love these fields of corn on the cob or maize. A beautiful red admiral butterfly. So we just emerged from the track and there's a gravel vehicular track which crosses over, which is also a right of way, but we're going to carry on along this long straight track which at the moment is cutting through these corn on the cob fields. Emphasis on the word long straight track. Now this is actually part of a Roman road called the Portway, and the Portway ran from Silchester, which was a very large Roman town just to the south of Mortimer in Berkshire. Silchester had a Roman amphitheatre and all sorts there, and English heritage I think it is. Keep the site open and you can see the low Roman walls, and you can go in the old amphitheatre. A bit dilapidated, it would be, it's Roman, but anyway, this road used to connect this very important town of Silchester, which is no more, to the city of Old Sarum, which was the olden days predecessor to the modern city of Salisbury, and we're on it. So as the corn gets a bit lower at this end of the field, which probably slightly poorer quality soil maybe, you can see a view. And what that is over there, it's a load of factories or something. Anyway, we're carrying on and we spring out onto this bit of tarmac lane which is one of the few bits of the Portway that us backward Brits decided to chuck a bit of tarmac on eventually. The rest of those wonderful Roman roads we thought, nah, blow that. We'll do the old thing and we'll go round these wiggly lanes that we've always done. But this bit has got tarmac on. So pretty soon as we head up the lane, we see a 5-bar gate to field house. And alongside of it, there's a footpath which we must take, and it goes across the Trinley estate. So keep your dogs on a lead. I know you do anyway. And let's follow this across the top of the hill. So anyway, before we came down this footpath, across the other side of the lane there's a great big hedge. And beyond the hedge is an airstrip, presumably a private airstrip for a farmer or something, but thought I could hear a plane taxiing until I heard reversing bleepers. It's clearly not an aeroplane. Anyway, couldn't see it because the hedge was in the way. Anyway, continue along here. So with some relief for a man in shorts, we emerge out to skirt a field rather than battle our way through the stingers. Actually, say battle our way, there weren't that many stingers there, but the ones that were like sneaky stingers. They'd sort of hide in the long grass, and one tendril would come out and whoop you on the leg. Yeah, a nasty stingy itchy leg now, but never mind. So over in the distance on the left I can see Andover, and that's the Twinings Tea building over there I can see. There's still loads of wheat in the field, and I would have thought they'd have had that in by now. This rain must have spoilt the harvest a bit. So coming out of the wheat field, there's a big barrier there so you can't miss the little gap in the hedge. Come out onto the lane, and we're going to turn right down the lane, head back down towards St Mary Bourne. I'm partial to a dead tree. That's a nice one with all the ivy growing up it. Yeah, I know, I'm a weirdo. More cyclists. There's so often now in this modern world things are sanitised and modern. You don't get to see these odd things. That looks like an old sort of shepherd's tin hut or something. And then there's an old building there, obviously from the Second World War, I'd imagine, with breeze blocks and an corrugated asbestos roof. I'm just looking over the fence, that. Someone's got a sense of humour. I can hear chickens too. It's this sort of thing I love about walking, finding the oddities in amongst the bushes. Anyway, we'll carry on along the road. I love chickens. Not just Kentucky Fried ones. Lovely birds. So when you get down the lane you come to a crossroads. It's called 5 lanes. 1, 2, 3, 4, it could be classed as 5, but anyway, when you get here we take the road off to the left, the one unsuitable for HGVs. I don't know why they're picking on this one, they're all a bit narrow for HGVs. So very shortly down the lane on the right, look for the gap in the hedge. There's no arrows or anything like that I can see, but there's a footpath the farmer has kindly left undeveloped that leads across the middle of this field. Well, that is to say, no arrows apart from the blinking great big footpath sign on a post that I somehow managed to miss. So nice views from the top of the path. If you're in any quandary as to where you are on the map, then you can see this path is a very, very flat hilltop, and it's a green dotty line that drops down into the alluringly named Swampton. I come from Swampton. We have a drone of an aircraft somewhere above the grey clouds. Other than that, up here, silence, lovely. And we're heading for the gate at the bottom corner. Lovely area to horse ride.
Yeah, really nice.
The old horse is happy. Heading back down through, presumably this is Swampton, down towards the pub at St Mary Bourne. So at the bottom of the hill, I think that's a little school. Around by this little cottage here. Yeah, so that's St Mary Bourne Primary School. So we sort of looked at the back entrance. All that 1860 national schools on the board there. Anyhow, walked down towards the village, and I was talking to some villagers back there. And apparently, James Blunt's family live here. And occasionally you can hear his helicopter as it helicopters in to visit them. So there you go, James Blunt fans, if you want to stake the place out, you never know, you might get lucky. So another finger post, and here we turn right, and that's Stoke. I'm sure it's not Stoke-on-Trent. Better not be. Now there's another pub to let at the moment, the Coronation Arms. Crikey, this looks like it's been to let for a long time. That's a real fixer-upper for somebody. Yes, apparently it's been to let for about 4 years. So if you're interested, ready-made pub for you. There's some lovely old thatched cottages in this area. Oh, and down there is Swampton House. Now this must be why this part of town's called Swampton, because obviously there's a little swampy bit of river there, look. Part of the River Bourne presumably. Carry on along the road. Lovely big cottage this one, Springhouse Farm apparently. So that's a nice touch. It was 75th anniversary of VJ, or Victory in Japan Day, yesterday, and they decorated up the house. And we got a nice sentry on the gate, look. That's cool, but that'd frighten the life out of you, wouldn't it? Or if that didn't, the giraffe in the bushes would. And quite appropriately, opposite the house with the VJ Day flag is the War Memorial. And that's a list of villagers that fell in the 1419 war. Normally 1418, but I have seen it 19 sometimes. I can't remember why it was. There's a reason it's called that. But look at that. I mean, this is a very, very small village. Look at the number of people that died fighting that war. And you've got various people like HS Cox, W.E. Cox, They've got the same name, the paces are the same. So they're families that have lost more than one. What's this on the side? This is the Second World War. 39-45, and even in that war, which wasn't half as bloody as the First World War, you've still got a fair few people from the village. Now that, as you would have heard before in another one of my walks, is a fireman's registration plate. So if this row of cottages caught fire, this is the one they would have put out because it's got the registration plate. I've noticed the other ones haven't, so presumably would have let them burn. And I believe this building here is an old almshouse. It's in memoriam of Roberti Holdaway. Oh no, Pauperon. Don't know, it's in Latin. Perhaps it's not almshouses. So lovely cottages here. So here we are, we're back at the George again. We've done 3.5 miles, nice little walk. It looked quite strenuous on the map, but it wasn't strenuous at all. There's some lovely views from the top of the hill. Found out of note that James Blunt family are from round here. He drops in occasionally. So on a nice walk, a nice meal or a drink in the pub, which is under new management, then pop along to St Mary Bourne. If you enjoyed the walk, then please don't forget to like and subscribe.